Dear students, viewers and the subscribers, welcome to the IAS Mentor and welcome back to the live session where we are going to discuss the questions that has been asked from the topic international relations. Not only international relations, I'll also discuss some of the questions that has been asked from the schemes and of course the government policies. Now, why these three areas? Polity, in addition to international relations, schemes, and the government policies. These are all areas roughly 25 to 30 questions can come from this particular area. This year also, if you see, roughly around 18 plus another 8 questions, roughly 26 questions have come, which plays a very crucial role, and they are predominantly from the GS paper 2. If you look it from the point of view of the general studies paper 2. Now, with that, we'll directly get into here, and here also there are certain questions which are very easy to answer. Certain questions could have been predicted, and most of the questions from the international relations this year is from the international institutions, organizations, so where UPSC has focused upon. A couple of questions from the policies and schemes as well. We'll try to quickly go through all those things. I'm going to discuss from the set D of the UPSC question paper. So, set D, the first question is question number 12. India is one of the founding members of the International North-South Transport Corridor, a multimodal transport corridor which will connect. Now, in fact, if you see this International North-South Transport corridor, it is a multimodal transport which is not yet fully operational. What does it mean by a multimodal transport? There will be different means of transport. It is a combination of air, rail and the transportation through the sea routes also. This is basically a multimodal transport system. And in fact, the idea of this international north-south transport corridor, it will replace the connectivity that is happening, especially from the Baltic Sea region of the Russia. Especially from the Baltic Sea region in Russia, if you see the connectivity that comes to India, it comes through the route of from the Baltic Sea, they go to the North Sea. From the North Sea, they come into the European countries, into the Mediterranean Sea. And from the Mediterranean Sea, they enter into what is called a Suez Canal. And from the Suez Canal, they come into somewhere into the Arabian Sea and then they connect the West Coast, which is a very long route. And in fact, it is also possible that the Suez Canal, if it is choked, for some reason, then it also brings in a lot of instability, and it also brings in threat to India's security when it comes to the energy security and other transport materials. So, in order to avoid this international north-south transport corridor, which is trying to connect the west coast of India through what is called as Iran. So, from Iran, it goes to Central Asia. From Central Asia, it goes along the coast of Caspian Sea, and then it enters into Azerbaijan. From Azerbaijan, it enters into Russia and then some East European countries. So, this is the idea of this international north-south transport corridor. So, if you see the important connecting route in this is Iran. So, therefore, what is the right answer here? It connects from India to Central Asia to Europe via what is Iran. So, the right answer here is option A. India to Central Asia via China is wrong. India to Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is below India. It is in fact north-south. So, from south it is connecting north. It is not from India to again Southeast Asia. So, therefore, it is wrong. India to Europe through Azerbaijan, also it appears to be right, but the most appropriate answer is because it is also including Central Asia. So, these regions are covered. India, Central Asia, from Central Asia through Iran to Central Asia, from Central Asia through Azerbaijan to the European countries. So, the right answer is option A is the right answer. It's not a very difficult question if the students have followed it. Now, come to the next question. Consider the following statements about the Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. So, this is one of the schemes of the central government trying to bring in what is called as rooftop solar system. There are primary objectives to establish this rooftop solar in at least 1 crore households in our country, with an objective of expanding our idea of renewable energy, and at the same time bringing the households where they can the objective is to provide minimum 300 units of electricity to those households free of cost by using this rooftop thing. And to implement this rooftop households in 1 crore households, the government is going to give a lot of subsidy also. I think around approximately 75,000 crore has been allocated by the government of India for this particular purpose. So with us, if you see that it targets installation of 1 crore solar rooftop panels in residential sector, that is definitely true. And in addition to that, if you look into the larger objectives of this particular program, the Ministry of Renewable Energy also planned to give a lot of training with regard to installation, maintenance of these equipment. So that is what the second statement is about. So impart training on installation, operation, maintenance and repairs of solar rooftop systems at the grassroots level. And where they want to implement all those things at the grassroots level. So this is also part of the larger objective. And then if you see another thing, in the process, it also tried to create a lot of job opportunities, and there's a minimum target of at least 3 lakh job opportunities in upskilling the people in these areas. So this is also definitely true. A very factual statement, but many times it has been reported in the newspaper. Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Mufti Bijli Yojana. So which of the statements given above are correct? The answer is option D, 1, 2 and 3 only. Not a very difficult question. Most of the students might know 1, and then you know that it is also related to renewable energy, and therefore it can also create employment opportunities. Some kind of guesses can also be made in this. If you got it right, it's a very good thing. So not many students will get this right, but if you got it right, it is definitely to your advantage. All right. So the students who are watching this, if you have any questions, you can put your questions also in the comment box. I will simultaneously look into the questions as well as I'll continue with the discussion. All right. So please come to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding what is called as BIMSTEC. So again, this is a regional arrangement. What is BIMSTEC? BIMSTEC is Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. Now, BIMSTEC is in fact a regional arrangement which is in the South Asian and Southeast Asian region. In fact, if you look into the BIMSTEC, so presently there are 7 member countries to bring in larger political stability in this region, and also to focus on number of key areas. BIMSTEC as an organization, they wanted to look into a number of areas like health, in the areas like countering terrorism, in areas like tourism, in areas like trade, investment. So these are all the areas where they want to focus upon. And if you see BIMSTEC came into existence in 2007. In 2007, it came into existence based on what is called as Bangkok Declaration. So if you look into this particular statement, it came into existence by signing Dhaka Declaration in 1999 is wrong. It is Bangkok Declaration in 1997. So therefore, this particular statement is wrong. And the founding members of BIMSTEC, as I already said, the founding members of BIMSTEC were 4 countries. It is Bangladesh, India. Then, in fact, it was initially not called as BIMSTEC. Initially, it was called as BIST. It was only called as BIST, which means BIST Economic Cooperation. So initially, it was Bangladesh, India, and then you have Sri Lanka, and then you have Thailand. So they were the founding members. So Bangladesh is there, India is there, Sri Lanka is there, Thailand is there. Nepal was not part of the founding members. Nepal has joined BIMSTEC only in the year 2004. So in addition to Nepal, it was also Bhutan which has joined this BIMSTEC in 2004. So therefore, this particular statement is also wrong. Statement 2 is also wrong because 1997 it was formed. Presently, if you see that this BIMSTEC has 7 countries as a part of the member nations, 5 South Asian nations and 2 Southeast Asian nations. What are the South Asian nations? India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal and Bhutan. So all these countries are there. And then what are the Southeast Asian nations? Thailand and Myanmar. So these are the Southeast Asian nations. So initially 4 members were there, and the 5th member to join, that was Myanmar in the year 1997 itself. And then subsequently in 2004, Nepal and Bhutan has joined it. So presently we have got 7 members. It's a regional organization consisting of 7 member states till January 2025. This is true. As of January 2025, there are 7 members. BIMSTEC, in BIMSTEC, the subsector of tourism is being led by India. As I already said that BIMSTEC, which stands for Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. The larger objective is that they have number of focus areas as a part of this initiative. As I already said, they focus on the area of trade, investment, health, counter-terrorism, tourism. So these are all some of the focus areas where tourism is led by Nepal as part of this particular initiative. So to say that India is leading that, it is not the right thing. So the answer is, if you eliminate 2, 3 and 4, only 1 is there. So option D is the right answer. Again, BIMSTEC often came in the newspaper. So therefore, students who followed it, I think they should be in a position to answer this as well. So please come to the next thing, that is BRICS. BRICS is anyways in news. October 2024, the 16th summit of the BRICS happened in Russia in a place which is called as Kazan. So it was in news. So it was expected lines. So I would say this is a easy question. Students should be in a position to answer this particular question. Initially, if you see about this BRICS in general, BRICS, when it was formed, it was not BRICS, it was only BRIC. It is Brazil, Russia, India and China. And then subsequently, South Africa also joined it. And today there are a number of countries who is part of what is called as BRICS today. But what is the larger objective of this particular BRICS? If you see the larger objective of this particular BRICS as an organization, it's both a political and an economic organization. And the objective is to counter the Western hegemony. The West and the organizations led by West, which is today doing well in terms of economic areas, to counter that hegemony, an organization was formed, and that's basically what is called as BRICS. And BRICS of late has been in news for a number of reasons. Of course, it is true that the 6th summit happened recently in 2024 under the chairship of Russia. That is true. Indonesia has become a full-fledged member of BRICS. So this is also true in January 2025, because Indonesia was the last member to join this. In January 2025, Indonesia has become a part of BRICS, and in fact, Indonesia is the only Southeast Asian nation which is part of BRICS. So therefore, this is also true. The theme of the 16th BRICS summit was strengthening multiculturalism for just and global development and security. So it appears to be correct, but many students may get it wrong, because the theme is not multiculturalism, rather it is multilateralism. As I already said, that the very objective of BRICS is to do away with the hegemony of the West. So they want what is called as multilateralism. They wanted multipolar world and not a unipolar world. So therefore, or a bipolar world. So multilateralism has to be there. It is not multiculturalism. Which of the statements given above are correct? So the right answer is option A, that is 1 and 2. So both the statements are correct. So please come to question number 56, which is again part of the international relations. India has joined Mineral Security Partnership as a member. So this is very, very important. India has joined Mineral Security Partnership in 2023. This Mineral Security Partnership is a partnership which is led by United States of America, and today there are 14 members as a part of this, 14 countries who are part of this Mineral Security Partnership. And what is the objective of this Mineral Security Partnership? The objective of this Mineral Security Partnership is to provide access to critical minerals to the member states, so that they can transform themselves to green energy, therefore they can take care of their national security. So for example, some of the critical minerals like cobalt, lithium, they are very critical for energy transition, to make batteries and to go for cleaner and greener energies. And that is also critical for the national security of any country, which may be used for the manufacture of number of sensitive equipments, including the defense equipment. So therefore, they become very important. So this is definitely true. India recently became a member of Mineral Security Partnership. India is a resource-rich country in all the 30 critical minerals that has been identified. This is again an extreme statement. If you can observe the UPSC language, most of the times the extreme statements are wrong. 99% of the time the extreme statements are wrong. That is why I tell the students, you try to read the UPSC questions again and again. Even without the knowledge, still if you can understand and read UPSC language, still you can get this right. So therefore, this is not true, just going by the logic, but otherwise also you can also just apply your mind, and you can say that India may not have all the critical minerals. To have all the critical minerals, it's very difficult. And in fact, India does not have. In fact, India does not have critical minerals like cobalt, nickel, lithium, and all those things. Therefore, this is wrong. The Parliament in 2023 has amended the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 1957, empowering the central government to exclusively auction mining lease and composite license for certain critical minerals. So we do understand that the critical minerals are so important, and for that very purpose, the exclusive right has to be given to the central government. It makes sense. So even without knowing it, you can still say that this to be right. This is right. By common sense, you can eliminate 2. So even if you eliminate wherever there is 2, you can still arrive at, sorry, if you eliminate wherever there is 2, so just I'll make a small correction here. So if you eliminate wherever there is 2, because 2 is wrong, so if you are going to eliminate wherever there is 2, 2 is here, 2 is here, and 2 is here. So therefore the answer is option C, that is 1 and 3 only. Alright, so please come to the next question. Consider the following countries who are part of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. And this is again on the expected lines. Ever since there is war between Ukraine and Russia, this NATO has been very much in the news. NATO stands for North Atlantic Treaty Organization, formed in 1949. The objective of the NATO is to have a political and a military association and to bring in peace and stability in the North Atlantic region. So this is basically what is called as NATO, and the NATO members would protect one another as a military organization and as well as a political association. And today if you see in NATO, there are 32 member states, and Sweden was the last country to join the NATO organization. But however, among the given, what is not there, Austria is not part of it, Bulgaria is part of it, Croatia is part of it, Serbia is not part of it, Sweden and Northern Macedonia are part of it. So therefore, how many of the above members are the members of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization? The answer is option B, 4 only. Very factual questions. But if the students can predict, okay, because there in the news, I should know about the members of NATO. So I think you are well placed to solve this particular question. Most of the question has come from various organizations, international organization, multilateral organizations. So from where UPSC has focused this here. So this is again from a government scheme or a policy. Consider the following statements about the Rashtriya Gogul Mission. So this Rashtriya Gogul Mission, one of the objective is to ensure the scientific breeding of indigenous cattle. And the objective of scientific breeding of this indigenous cattle is, one is it can increase the milk production if it is scientifically bred. And the second thing is most of the poor farmers in our country own these indigenous breed, and therefore by scientifically breeding them and handling them, it can also improve their source of revenue. So these are the objectives of Rashtriya Gogul Mission. It is important for the upliftment of rural poor, as a majority of the low producing indigenous animals are with small and marginal farmers and landless laborers. This is true. It was initiated to promote indigenous cattle and buffalo rearing and conservation of scientific and holistic manner. So in fact, both are part of the National Gokul Mission. Which of the statements given above are correct? Option C is the answer. So we discussed almost all the 6-7 questions. We are moving, I think, to the last question as a part of the international relations, and I also discussed the policies and schemes. So overall 8 questions were there, and I think in polity there were 18 questions. So roughly you have got 26-27 questions from this area. So every year if you see, the questions are between 25 to 30 questions from these 3 areas. Which one of the following launched the Nature Solution Finance Hub for Asia and the Pacific? So in fact, this Nature Solution Finance Hub for Asia and Pacific was launched by the Asian Development Bank in the 28th Conference of Parties meeting, COP meeting. So the answer here is Asian Development Bank. So what is the reason or what is the objective with which they have launched this particular finance? Is to bring in what is called as invest in nature solutions. So for example, invest in the areas of afforestation, water conservation, and then to ecosystem prevention. So these are all the areas probably they wanted to invest, and in fact they wanted to mobilize around $2 billion of money where they wanted to invest in these areas. So that's the objective with which this was created by the Asian Development Bank. So the answer is Asian Development Bank. Out of 8 questions, both international relations, 4 to 5 questions are doable, especially the questions from BRICS, BIMSTEC, the mineral, there was one question related to the mineral security partnership, and also the question from North Atlantic Treaty Organization. These are all questions that is easily doable. So overall, I think it is easy to solve around 5 to 6 questions out of these 8 questions. And even if you have done 5 questions, you are still in an advantageous position. So this is my observation with regard to this. So overall, out of polity, international relations, and the schemes, where 26 to 27 questions have come, students can get 20 questions out of this, those who are prepared well, and that put them in an extremely good position to clear the prelims examination. All right. So with that, I am just concluding my live session for this particular area, but I would again reiterate it, if you are getting more than 80 marks, you should start preparing for the mains examination without worrying about the result. 85 to 90 marks, you should not have any concern in your mind. So most likely, or I would say definitely, you will be writing the mains examination. So don't think about anything. Although this prediction is not a scientific prediction, because nobody knows the data that UPSC possesses, it's only largely based on my experience and based on the interaction with the students who are prepared for the examination. I arrive at this particular conclusion. Irrespective of all those things, you just focus on the next preparation. That is, students have to focus on the mains examination. Those who feel that your performance is not up to the mark, where maybe the score is very less, so you can have a holistic plan as to how to go for the next year. I would say again, it is moment for focusing on your mains examination for the next 6 to 7 months. Whether you write the mains or not, this is a time to focus on the mains examination. And maybe in the next year, starting January, February, you can take up the prelims preparation. So for the next 6 to 7 months, you should have a holistic preparation for your mains. Students who are done well, who are about to write the mains examination, you should have a plan for 90 days as to how to go about your mains examination. So I will also do a live session on this, how to focus on the mains examination, very shortly. Till the time, I will wind up the session, and all the best to all the students watching this video and those who are preparing for the examination. Thank you very much, and all the very best.